Where can we see Eisenstein's influence? In many ways, Eisenstein is an unmatched filmmaker. Only his films look like his films. But there are traces of his influence throughout the history of film. In fact, a filmmaker we've already witnessed, Alfred Hitchcock, was very much influenced by Sergei Eisenstein, and you can actually hear the core ideas of Eisenstein's theories in an interview with Hitchcock.
We call it cutting. It isn't exactly that. Cutting implies severing something. It really should be called assembly. Mosaic is assembling something to create a whole. Montage means the assembly of pieces of film which, moved in rapid succession before the eye, create an idea. Of course, the most elementary form is the juxtaposition of imagery in various sizes. You know, a lot of people think that cutting is, or we'll say montage or assembly, is taking a man from one place to another and jumping into a close-up of him, which Griffith invented, it's true. But to me it goes much deeper. And as I say, the picture Psycho contained quite an amount of cinematic approach to this, to its basic content.
So he's going to go into a narration of the shower scene in Psycho, which he says kind of embodies this approach to cutting, because it is a good example of the remnants of Eisenstein's theory. Not necessarily taken in whole. It doesn't necessarily have that stark juxtaposition of concepts like we get in the strike example with the slaughtering of the bull, but you'll get the way in which the images themselves have a tension with each other, that it doesn't feel smooth, and there's a roughness. I want to just kind of highlight the specific way in which this proceeds. What you get are a lot of cuts in which you go back and forth between two distinct images. But interestingly, they never quite say converge. They always seem separate. And what I mean by that is you get shots of the shadowy murderer, and you get shots of the victim in which a hand enters the frame. And in each shot, you get what amounts to a kind of fragmentation of a body. Very difficult to make sense of what's going on in each of these shots, but when they're put together, you'll get an impression of violence. In fact, the speed and jerkiness of the editing itself produces a kind of violence. And I think that is the essence of the Eisensteinian influence. Not so much that there is a synthesis of ideas here, but that there is a kind of aesthetics of conflict through the use of editing. You can see that also here, though I actually would say that in the birds, this example, it's a bit more clumsy, and it kind of strikes us as pretty strange and not fluid. But I actually want you to see that just so you can see the stark influence of an Eisensteinian way of cutting here in the sequence from the birds.
Look at the gas. That man's lighting a cigar.
Hey, you! Watch out! Don't drop that match! Look out! Get on there!
Mister, run!
Watch out!
Mr.
Look out! Look out! Watch out!
So you can clearly see the influence of Eisenstein, or at least a loosely Soviet influence type of editing, in these almost statuesque, almost frozen images of Tippi Hedren following the trajectory of the fire in these shots. It seems almost anti-naturalistic, anti-realistic. And it follows this idea that we can feel the tension between the cuts. There is no fluidity at all. In many ways, I think this is difficult to watch and not kind of laugh at, or to almost feel as if there was an attempt to do something that doesn't quite work. But that attempt reveals the influence of a non-American school of thought on American filmmaking. Okay, so with that, we're going to end there, and the next time we're going to finish up the lessons on non-continuity editing. All right, thank you.